But do you know that Undertale's 10 years old?
Yes. Thank you, Gio.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. That doesn't make me feel old. What made me feel old was like in August when I got the reminder that Chrono Trigger is 30-something years old. That one got me. Hello, and welcome to episode 169 of Rhythm Encounter, the RPG fan music podcast. I am your host, Mike Salbato, and today we are going to be talking about electronic music, or as one of our co-hosts today decided you coined the term, Electro-Bangers. Rob, I don't know if we're going to officially title it that, but that was your term, and I'm giving you credit.
Thanks.
Yes. So with me today, first of all, is Rob.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you for suggesting this topic and maybe our title.
That's good. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm ready. This is, it's a great bunch of songs we've got.
Yeah, for sure. Gio is back with us again.
Hello. Long time no see.
Yeah. And Audra is here as well.
Hello, hello.
We have two seasoned veterans of the show, or I guess three if you count me, which I guess you probably should, and Rob. But you know, we'll walk you through it. We'll be gentle with you. I think you'll be fine. I'm happy you're here with us. So I don't know. Remember if I warned you all about this, but we do like to do a "What are you listening to lately?" at the top of the show. So does anyone want to go first with what you've been listening to, game music or otherwise?
Oh, okay. I've been listening to this weekend. Okay, so this weekend I've been listening to Lily Allen's new album, which is really good. And I've been very into SZA's latest album as well. In terms of video game music, I've been getting very into some of the original Final Fantasy soundtracks because I'm reviewing them for the site. So I've been listening a lot to Final Fantasy 1 and 2, and I'm just about getting into Final Fantasy 4, and I'm really enjoying them so far. It's very different to anything that I've reviewed for the site, so I'm enjoying the challenge of reviewing music of that time period.
So it's the original chip.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that is challenging.
But interesting. It's pretty cool.
I'm looking forward to the review now. Curious to see how you go about it.
Yeah, me too. How about you, Gio?
Yeah, for me, I haven't been listening to a lot of non-game music, but the game music I've been listening to is like kind of non-game music. I've been listening to the Alan Wake 2 soundtrack because I just finished that game like a month ago, and the music from that game it's so good. It's kind of like a mix of genres. There's like metal, there's like trip hop, there's like even like a little indie pop song. And because like how it works is like you hear that music at the end of like every chapter of the game. And it's kind of like at the end of in like Twin Peaks season 3, where like at the end of the episode, there's like a performance, like a live performance, and it's like a real band. And I think they were going for that similar effect. And yeah, I really recommend the soundtrack because it's so eclectic. There's probably something you would enjoy in there. Yeah. I recommend it to our listeners.
To check it out. How about you, Audra?
Well, I've been listening to a lot of JDK Falcom music at the moment.
Nice.
Just from various series, and games and stuff. Quite catchy and good.
Yeah. Cool. This week, at least the last few days for us, has been Nightmare Before Christmas because it's just the time to do that.
Oh, yes.
So always a good time. Somewhere between now and the end of the week, probably need to pop in as if it's a CD. Listen to the Over the Garden Wall soundtrack, but also because we need to watch that this season. I also listened to a bit of the soundtrack for Absolem. Jerry reviewed that for us recently, and I keep hearing good things about that game, and the soundtrack is pretty great too. So good music all around. and we have more to talk about. So if you all are ready, Gio, would you like to introduce your first song today?
My pleasure. I'm today at the start. I'm bringing a song from Shin Megami Tensei V. It's called "Battle Dancing Crazy Murder," composed by Ryota Kozuka.
Nice. And then after that, we have your first song, Rob.
Yeah, so it is a Red's Dance, 2 legs, nothing to it, from the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth soundtrack by Nobuo Uematsu and Mitsuto Suzuki.
yeah, I mean, talk about Electro-Bangers, because like this song, it's kind of like the first song that comes to mind when I think of like banger in a game. I love this song ever since like I first heard it. It kind of, I want to say, kind of went viral around when the game came out, because like there were like so many memes of like, you know how like people like cut like gifs of like people like dancing, like random dancing gifs, and like they play it, or like they do it over the song. It's kind of hard to explain, but maybe I'll link like one of the videos that I'm thinking of. But yeah, it went viral for good reason, because it's really good, and it really stands out in the soundtrack of like in a soundtrack where like almost every song stands out. Because like I think it's because it's like it's not like your average kind of electronic dance music, because like there's kind of like this, for lack of a better word, like Hindustan flavor. Like it's kind of, you know, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but like the way it sounds, it kind of sounds like Indian dance music, or like traditional Indian dance music, but like by way of like modern instruments. And
yeah.
And it's like very, I think it's cool because like it's very intimidating in a way, and then there's like so many cool elements in the song, like I like how the synth sounds, like in some parts where it sounds like it's kind of like roaring. It's kind of like almost gonna burst out of the song. It's like, I don't know, it kind of does that. And then I like the little samples of like I find it hard to understand what the samples are saying, but like one goes like human, and then the other one, I don't know, but it sounds like, to me, it sounds like it's saying, this is Goldie, like this is Goldie, something like that. And then of course like the big drop, and it's like so amazing. And then like the drop, and then there's like the percussion that goes like it's like so relentless, and it's like, wow, it's just it commands your attention, like very so many songs in SMT5, but like this is like one of the highlights for sure. And another thing I just like want to note, it kind of, I don't know if you guys have seen this anime, it's called Devilman Crybaby, but like the intro song sounds very similar to this song, and I don't know if like it's like taking inspiration, but like it would make sense because like it's about devils and, you know, similar subject matter, similar vibes. So I don't know. I haven't seen anyone mention this before, but like I feel like that intro song is like an influence on this song. So yeah, it's one of my favorite bangers in video gaming, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, curious what you guys think.
I definitely agree that it's like got a kind of relentless quality to it, which I think is really fitting for the game. I also really enjoyed about this one the like, I don't know, I feel like it has kind of so many layers of sound, like at all times through like the whole length of the song. There are so many kind of layers to it, but there's almost this kind of quality to some of the sounds that makes them seem like not quite there, or like a kind of hazy quality that makes them sound like you're kind of listening to them through, like, I don't know, from like another dimension or something, I suppose. It's got a really like interesting kind of dream-like, trippy quality to the track that I really love, but also I think is super appropriate for the game. And I think I also put a note down, which I imagine is the same part you were talking about, Gio, where there's like the big drop, and it becomes like the synths kind of fully come out, and it's so good. That bit's like my favorite bit of the track. But yeah, I love this, and I think it just sounds like so fitting for the game. Yeah, it's great.
Does it fit your criteria for this episode?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, good. 1 for 1 so far.
I don't have the context from the game, but I kind of adored the song. I love there is like almost an out of this world, impactful, relentless quality to it. I like that terminology for description of it. And man, that percussion in particular is just amazing. So I really like this one.
Yeah. You know, I distilled my notes, or at least the intro of my notes, down to 2 things that I always think about when someone brings a song on from this game. The first is that it's always a good time and always a good listen. And the second, almost all the time, I feel a little bit uncomfortable. And I get that from this song. And I mean that in a good way, of course. You know, it just has this great beat. Like, it's really, I could see it being a little bit danceable, but then, you know, like you said, the vocals are like a little bit disconcerting, and then just this weird, almost like discordant mix of sounds. Like you said, with all the things going at once all the time, it really speaks to like a harsh, like the setting, the world it's in. Like, I don't know, a city full of demons or something. I'm not sure if that's, you know, demons show up in this series, but that's a joke for anyone listening who doesn't know. Yeah. I enjoyed it a lot. It's so many times, like, especially, maybe it's mostly the battle music. I feel like people talk about the battle music in this game a lot, but they're so good at doing that, like just putting so much in there that it should just sound kind of messy and like just all over the place, but there's something to it that's really compelling, and really fits with the setting, so I enjoyed it too.
Yeah, and I think kind of also thinking about it now, in comparison to the other tracks that we've got on this episode, this one feels a bit more... This one feels like the one which is probably the least like happy or cheerful. It's definitely got like a kind of sinister quality to it that a lot of the other tracks I don't think do. Yeah.
I feel like just this composer just really understands SMT. Feels like he's been kind of like the main composer for this series ever since like SMT 4, and yeah, I feel like he just gets it. He just knows exactly the vibe to bring.
Definitely fits for my interpretation of the vibe of SMT, I feel.
Yeah,
I can see that.
It's funny if you don't think about or know the time frame when you say like he's been the composer since the 4th game and this is the 5th game. You'd be like, well, that's only 2 games, but that's a long time between those 2 games.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Are we ready to talk about Red 13?
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Yeah, go for it, Rob.
Okay, so I decided to bring this track from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I knew I was going to bring this one from the moment that I kind of knew that we were going ahead with this episode. So I reviewed the OST for Rebirth, I think about this time last year, and I remember when I was listening to it, it's a huge soundtrack. I think it's like 8 discs worth of music. And I remember like coming towards the end of the 2nd disc and kind of thinking like I was enjoying it, but there wasn't really anything particular so far that had like surprised me. It all felt like what I was kind of expecting from a Final Fantasy soundtrack. And I wasn't like, I didn't find it boring or anything, but what I particularly love about soundtracks for video games is when like there is a song that comes on which really surprises me or like challenges what I was expecting to be getting out of the soundtrack. And it was getting towards the end of the 2nd disc, and I was like, I was really kind of craving something to surprise me. And then this track came on, and for the first like 10 seconds, I was like, okay, I feel like I know what I'm getting with this. And then the siren sound happens at the beginning, and I feel like nothing quite announces what a song is going to be like quite like a siren at the beginning. And as soon as I heard it, I was like, okay, I feel like this is going to pop off a bit now, and that's pretty much what it does. And yeah, this song was exactly what I was really wanting from the Rebirth soundtrack. It's like using elements from the original Final Fantasy VII music, but quite sparingly, I think, throughout the song, and it kind of picks elements of different tracks relating to Red 13 and just kind of sprinkles them through this like quite intense synth pop track, which changes, even though it's only like a bit over 2 minutes long. I think it has very distinct sections. I love that part just after the siren where it has that kind of chiptune-y sort of sound interspersed amongst the quite heavy synthy bass line. And yeah, I just think it's really great. This was exactly what I wanted from a Final Fantasy soundtrack in 2024. And even just like the like 10 seconds of vocals right at the end of the song, it was like it kind of just came out of nowhere, and the fact that you think the song is going to finish and then it just introduces this like random other element that hasn't appeared yet in the song. I just think this one's great. I love it.
It makes me remember the scene that this plays in the game so much, and I love that scene, and I love just the music that accompanied it. So I was like, yay, when I heard this song being picked. It's a great piece, and I love the fact that it has so many different phases to it.
I just love how Final Fantasy VII Rebirth gets to like be goofy and like have songs like this. I forgot where I mentioned this, but like I remember I remember saying like the orchestral stuff doesn't do much for me anymore in FF7 Rebirth, because I heard it in remake. So like I was looking for stuff like this. So when they did pop out like in this song, I love the scene also, by the way. And like, yeah, this is the stuff like you remember.
Yeah.
Like you just remember it more than the more traditional kind of music that you hear. Yeah, and I just love how I'm just gonna echo like how I love how it switches gears every like third of the way through the song, and then like the end, like with the pad, like that discordant little synth pad, and then like it's like and then it's such a cool like resolution to the song, and yeah, I found this very listenable, and it's like a much more positive song after like Dancing Crazy Murder. Yeah, it's so cool. I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah. It is very different, but there's something about it. There's a little bit of like an industrial dance feel. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. There was something about the song that I felt sort of paired with the other one in that very specific way. Even though this one is definitely more upbeat and fun and feels more like dance floors and less like being surrounded by demons. But yeah, it's so catchy. I really love the different like Red 13 related like motifs in there. It's a really nice touch. Like someone like they really put some thought into that to make them all work together. So yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I have to ask though, like the opening notes are, I mean, that's just Bad by Michael Jackson, right? I mean, it isn't just me who heard that.
I actually didn't notice that. I'm going to listen to it again now.
Listen, I was like, I hope I'm not making this up. Like I listened to the first 3 seconds. I'm like, let me go listen. I'm like, oh, well, it's there. Very, very similar.
It could be. He kind of homages Michael Jackson in the scene.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Red, like moonwalk in the scene.
Yeah, he like moonwalks and stuff.
Well, okay. See, now I was really mostly just joking. I'm like, I mean, you're going to have notes, a series of notes that may sound similar, but I'm like, now that you said that, now I'm really curious. Your turn was just like hey, go listen to Bad and compare, but now there might be something to it.
It just adds to like the playful aspect of it. It's like it's not serious, and
yeah, I love that. I mean, I know I've said it here or elsewhere before, but I think sometimes people tend to forget that aspect of Final Fantasy VII, all the weird stuff over the years. You get so used to like it being like, oh, it's so serious, and I'm like, no, it wasn't. There was a lot of weird stuff, so I'm glad they leaned into that here. All right. Audra, are you ready for our next block?
Oh, yes. The first song of the next block is Techno Madness, composed by Jesse Allen. and it is an unreleased track from Mass Effect 2.
That is exciting. I didn't even realize there were, released, unreleased tracks from that game. So, all right. And then I am bringing Spider Dance from Undertale. Specifically, this is straight from the Underground arranged album. So it's composed by Toby Fox, but this version is arranged by Arthur X. Medic and VOIA.
Well, Techno Madness is a track that's from the Afterlife Club that Aria runs in Mass Effect 2 on Omega. And it is it's kind of like a dance club, an underground dance club with some shadier things going on because it's Aria and it's Omega, and that makes sense from the story stance. And I think like this song really leans into that, and especially there's a very much a strong dance element, but then there's like kind of I wouldn't say like a darker sense, but there's like a little bit of something you can tell there's kind of maybe implying something below the surface with some of the instrumentation. And I really love the song, and I think the worst part about the song itself is that it just kind of stops. I don't feel like they have like the best closing for it, but it's a really catchy song when you're listening to it.
In the game, does it just loop? Maybe that's why there's not really a closing.
Yeah, it loops. Because it's just for while you're in the Afterlife Club. Okay.
No, I like it. It has a cool energy to it. Maybe, I wonder, do you have any idea why it wouldn't have been on the soundtrack? Is it too much like background music?
I know that BioWare has done a few unreleased tracks for various games that they have, so I don't know why. I guess maybe just they thought it was maybe too ambient.
Do they release them on an album called Unreleased? Because I have questions about that.
No, I think it's like people collect them on YouTube.
Okay, that makes way more sense. Anyway, yeah, I like this one. It has sort of an intense pace to it. It has like a good energy for to me, it feels kind of like a high stakes kind of sequence,
which fits for that part of the game, that locale.
Okay, yeah. So I did enjoy it. It's weird that they wouldn't release something like this, since it seems like, I don't know if it's the most important area you go to, but it seems important enough. So yeah, so I'm glad that someone found this and put it out there, and that you brought it on.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I like in the middle of the song when this like phasery synth comes in. Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds. I don't know. Well, it just kind of reminded me of like Red Alert 2, that soundtrack with like very similar instrumentation. And yeah, it took me back. I don't know much about Mass Effect 2, but like it made me think of another game. Yeah. But yeah, I just like the song. I really like it, and I got the sense that it's like a diegetic. Like you hear it, the character hears it.
Yeah, I really loved this one. I really enjoy Mass Effect 2, and when I was listening to this, the first thing that came into my head was the like weirdly animated dancing from the from the game, which is great. But yeah, I just think this song sounds very like of its time, but in a really good way. Like it definitely takes a lot of influence from like 2000s dance and trance music, especially when that like really epic sounding like choral vocal comes in, I think like in the second half of the song. It works really well, and it fits with that kind of era of dance music really well when the game would have actually come out. And I love that kind of music anyway, so yeah, this is great.
Yay.
Okay, so it sounds like Rob's score is 3 out of 3 so far. All right. Well, let's see if we can keep it going. I'm not sure if mine qualified, but we'll find out. Let me know after. So I played Undertale a couple years after it came out. After a not insignificant number of my friends said I should and that I would like it. And like in that time, I was so focused on experiencing the game. So I was like, I would not listen to like the soundtrack or music outside of it. I was very aware of how much was out there, how many people like fell in love with it and did all these like arrangements and remixes. But I like ignored all of it until I finished the game. And then as soon as I was done, I was like, all right, it's time to jump in. And this is one of the first albums I found was straight from the underground, and it's so much fun. There's so many cool arrangements on there, dance style music, like all kinds of different styles. But I like that they have a ton of tracks and also didn't turn people away. They're like, there are several versions of like Asgore and Megalovania, which is fun. And like they lend themselves so well to different arrangements. So I'm glad that there's multiple on this one album. But so as much as there's a lot of great stuff on this album, I really enjoy this version of Spider Dance. Like, the original song is really great. I mean, it's so catchy and gets in your head, but I love how this mix like really like turns up the bass and has those like cool, like crunchy kind of industrial sounds, and it kind of transforms this song into something really fitting for this album. But it also feels like a great treatment, like specifically for this song and Fighting Muffet. Like, it's a little bit creepy and spooky because spiders. And I don't know, like, if I really want to like get into it, I want to say that like she would approve of this style of arrangement for this theme.
I remember the last time, I think it was the last time I was on Rhythm, I'm not sure. But we had an Undertale song on that episode, and I said after we talked about it that I loved it so much that I would want to go and play the game and listen to the rest of the soundtrack, and I've done neither of those things. But this song I also really love. So it's like renewed my desire to go and do both of those things. So hopefully this time I will. But yeah, this is really great. I think the like chiptune sounds combined with the kind of glitchy like beats and stuff work really well as a combination. I think it sounds really like current. It takes a lot of inspiration from like dubstep and electronic dance music. And I think like initially it almost gets like slightly too chaotic, but then I think around like 1 minute 30-ish of the song, the like main melody comes in, and I think when that happens, it like brings everything together, and it just like elevates the track to a whole new level. I think, yeah, it's fantastic. I think it's really good.
Oh, great. I'm going to give you one small non-spoiler advice if you do play. Mm-hmm. Related to spiders. Support the bake sale.
Okay.
That's all.
Cryptic.
Yep.
I will remember.
You know, like, for a time, like, I know there was like this notion that dubstep's not cool. Like, oh, it's like, yeah, it's like, oh, it's so lame that you listen to dubstep. Like, you know what? I'm just gonna say, like, I've always liked it. I don't care what anyone says. I like Skrillex. I like, you know, Wolfgang Gartner. I like that kind of music. So, and which is why I also like the song. It's cool. I just honestly, actually, I find the song overall to be like really funny, because I wasn't expecting like the wah 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 glitchy stuff to come in. So like when it did, I was just like, whoa. I was taken aback. I was like, oh man, like the song was already good, and then it just became perfect. It's the perfect arrangement, and I'm pretty sure that was like partly intentional, at least, like to make it like a little bit silly. Because like the song is silly, and like the scene where it plays is silly too. So yeah. I feel like they kept the spirit of that song, but in this version too, which is important. I also like how they use like little Undertale effects, like the sound effects, like in the battles, and like it's cool. It's such a cool touch, and it just shows like a lot of love for the source material. Yeah.
Well, actually, my first exposure to Undertale's music was a version of Asgore from this particular album, and I kind of loved the Spider Dance version that I heard through this, so I'm really glad you brought it on, and one day I will play Undertale. But this album seems like it has a bunch of winning tracks on it in general.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can still get this one. I know there was like a selection of Materia Collective albums that went away several years ago, but I think this was before they did that. So I think you can still get this one. I'd highly recommend it. And I will happily do for you and Rob what many people did for me and nudge you to play it if you would like me to. There's many games that I've done that with over the years where someone kept saying, it's like, you're going to like this. I'm like, I know. And then I finally did it. I'm like, okay, I should have listened. I mean, not to everyone, but at least the people that I trust with recommendations and like steered me towards this and towards like To the Moon and some other ones. And they've been right. So.
Did you know that Undertale's 10 years old?
Yes. Thank you, Gio.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. That doesn't make me feel old. What made me feel old was like in August when I got the reminder that Chrono Trigger is 30-something years old. That one got me. All right. Rob, are you ready to introduce your second song?
I am.
Go for it.
So next we have Scarlet Phase 2 by Hyunmin Cho from Stellar Blade Original Soundtrack Plus.
Nice. And Audra.
Oh, and then after that we have The Butterfly's Invitation composed by Go Shiina from God Eater 2 Rage Burst soundtrack.
Okay, shall I go? Is everyone ready?
I'm good.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring a track from Stellar Blade. I knew, like, similar to Final Fantasy, the track from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I knew that I was going to pick something from Stellar Blade when I knew we were going ahead with this theme. My initial thought was to go for, there's another track on the main soundtrack called Raven, which is incredible, but I think that's already been on,
Yep.
and I imagine Gio probably picked it. So then I was like, okay, I'll think of something else, and I actually turned to the Soundtrack Plus, which was an extra like bonus disc that came out over the summer, I think, of like I think 16 or 17 extra tracks, some instrumental versions and some like wholly new songs that were missing off of the original soundtrack that came out last year. So Scarlet Phase 2 is from the Plus collection of songs. And I went with this one because I feel like it has a really interesting, I guess, identity that kind of sets it apart from a lot of the other tracks on the soundtrack as a whole, that purely kind of comes from that like beat section that happens kind of in the middle and towards the end. I think the initial sort of vocal part towards the beginning is not particularly different to some of the other vocal songs on the Stellar Blade soundtrack, but it's that like break that happens where it becomes like this kind of cacophonous like mix of electronic beats and like actual real life drumming that really, I remember the first time I heard it, it really kind of took me by surprise, and those are the sections that made me like fall in love with this song, and I love how that like first beat break kind of builds and builds, and then it almost like breaks like a wave over these like really beautiful strings that kind of lead into the second section of vocals in the second half. I find it really a really interesting piece of music, and that kind of switch between the very elegant sort of string and vocal led sections with that really like abrasive beat section is really cool, I think. And actually, like when I was listening to this song again and making notes for this episode, I actually think that the vocals on this one are not particularly great in the first half. They feel very like sort of all at the same kind of note, and not particularly interesting until the second half, I think, when it kind of changes things up a bit. But yeah, I mean, if you haven't listened to the Stellar Blade soundtrack, I really recommend it. I think it's probably one of the best soundtracks I've heard for quite a long time. And this one is definitely a highlight, not just of the Plus version, but the whole thing.
Well, when you put it like that, Rob, like that middle cacophonous like beat section, it's kind of like you could like frame it. It kind of seems like it's like the song is like calibrating, and it's like trying to find its footing in a way, and I don't know, maybe that was like the intended feeling.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because like I do agree, like the song gets better as it goes on, starting with that beats part, the break beat, but I just generally like it. Stellar Blade does a lot of like delicate songs, and then that just suddenly, and then alternating with like more abrasive sounding or like more, like percussion heavy parts, and the effect is like really striking. It's really for me, Stellar Blade was probably like my favorite soundtrack last year because of stuff like that. Because like I was always like, it's always like interesting. Like, I'm never like bored listening to it, and yeah, just the quality of the musicianship So good.
Yeah, if this is an example of the caliber of songs, then I definitely need to listen to the soundtrack more, because this is an amazing song. I feel like it evolves and grows as it progresses, and I really love that about it.
I enjoyed this, first of all, but I also had trouble figuring out what I wanted to say about it, because like some of the instruments and just, I don't know, some of the sounds together, like I had a hard time grasping on what I wanted to comment on. I enjoyed it, but like the electronic sounds and the weird vocals like give me this cool, like a sci-fi spacey sound is not really, it is a thing, but it's not something I can properly articulate. And then there's like drums and some other things that I just wasn't expecting. So like it was a lot of surprises for me. Like I'm not sure what I was going into the song expecting to hear, but it wasn't this. But it was very cool. Like you guys keep bringing Stellar Blade onto Rhythm Encounter, and it wears me down a little bit more every time. I think I'm already convinced. It's just, I want it to be on a decent sale, but I guess maybe if you convince me enough, that'll make me be willing to accept a lesser sale. I feel like it only goes on sale for like, $10 off or something, but I don't know. I am very curious now. Like every time I listen to the music, it's super good. So yeah, I'm glad you brought it. And Audra, here's a favorite from you that you have not been able to talk about in quite a while.
Oh no, and I love bringing up God Eater music whenever I can.
I know, it's been a long time.
Especially like Goshino tracks from that series they're pretty stellar, and this one's just, it's a standout song. I kind of feel like it almost like it throws everything at you, and it's chaotic in a way, but it somehow just works. And I just love the different variations and instruments and vocals and how it all comes together as like it's a very intense song, but it's a good one, and I hope it fits the Electro-Banger definition. I wasn't quite sure, but it certainly, to me, it gets me pumped up every time I listen to it.
It totally does. It totally
Yay!
does.
Yeah. Actually, that's the way you described that, Audra. That's kind of why I wanted to pair this one with Stellar Blade, because they both have this like awesome and like sometimes unexpected instruments together. Mm-hmm. So it mixes, it fits our theme in like interesting ways. Like, obviously the sound of this is very different from the Stellar Blade song, but just the mix of strings and electronic music and the heavy bass and, for lack of a better term, energetic anime vocals.
Yes.
But like it all comes together better than I would expect. Even though I know we're here talking about electronic music, I will still admit my favorite part of this song is the string component. They're really nice, and I'm impressed how they work against and with all the other instruments and aspects of the song. So it's a little bit orchestral and a little bit electronic, so really cool.
Yeah. There's even some like rock influence in there too, which I like.
Yeah.
It's very eclectic. Even
yes,
more,
that's a good word.
Yeah, even more than Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Like I remember. Okay, I wrote in my notes. This is like the first time I've heard like a vocoder in a song on Rhythm Encounter, like a oh, like that part.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's cool. It's just God Eater 2, like always very surprising.
Yes.
Every time I remember the other times Audra brought God Eater 2, I was like surprised at how good it was. I shouldn't be, because it's Goshina, the composer. But, it's just cool every time.
Oh, I'm glad I can help spread the love for God Eater music.
Yeah, my two favourite things about this, one of them is the vocoder that Gio mentioned, and it felt so surprising, but also I was like slightly disappointed that it's so brief and then it never appears again in the whole of the rest of the song. It sounds a bit kind of Daft Punky, which I really loved. So I was a little sad that it didn't reappear towards the end, but I love that it has this like little section in the middle, and also that like strange kind of combination between the the like electronic beat and then what sounds like a fiddle or something. I'm not sure. Which is like, I would never think to put two instruments like that together and for them to work, but it sounds so good in this. Yeah.
And then the entire party fell silent.
We're just thinking of how awesome these two songs are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. I don't feel like I've been rushing people, but we're already at the last block. So that is exciting. I think the time has just gone by really fast. Are we ready for our last two?
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. I'm starting with something that could have been obvious, but it is Primal Perspective from Parasite Eve. So the composer is Yoko Shimomura, but this is an arrangement of a few different tracks, actually, from an album called World 1-2 Encore by Xavier, in quotes, MV Dang. So, there's a World 1-2 album, and then there's this Encore album, and I've had them for a while. Really neat arrangements. And then after that, Gio, what's your other song?
I'm bringing Receive You, the Hyperactive from Yakuza Like a Dragon, composed by Hidenori Shoji, but arranged by 83 Key.
All right, so that was Primal Perspective. And, you know, Parasite Eve may not be my most original play because it's an album that I would bring on here all the time if I could. But this particular one, this World 1-2 Encore album, I have not listened to in years. And I forgot that this arrangement even existed. It's been so long. So this arrangement, it's a little bit longer than I usually like on the show, but you know, I feel like we need to have the whole thing here. So it's a blend of the game's opening, Primal Eyes, the main theme, and Missing Perspective. So our arranger here, MV, solved my age-old problem of having to choose between three of my favorite songs in the game by putting them all into one. But they're all blended together in this like cool, like industrial electronic fashion. I feel like everything works so well together as each theme, like it's like it transforms, but the way they transition and flow into each other or overlap with each other. Like it's a really cool, like 6 or 7 minutes of arrangements. And I admit, I really like how he ended the thing, or ended the arrangement with the same like dramatic piano hit we already know from Primal Eyes. So it's a really nice like homage to just that very specific portion of the song. But yeah, so much fun. I mean, like I said, like all of those songs I adore. So to have them all together, once I sat down and listened to this again, I'm like, oh, this is fantastic.
I mean, I think it's really impressive and creative just be able to transition and kind of splice them together and merge the songs. It's really neat. And it works too.
Yeah.
Very much so.
What I really want is like if Square Enix ever does like a Parasite Eve remaster or remake, they should use this song, this remix. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I'm like in my head, I'm like imagining this could be like the new opening CG. I don't know, because like I just felt like, oh, this isn't like an official remix. I was surprised at first that it's not like, it's not really from the game. It's not even from Square Enix.
Yeah,
it's just so good.
I didn't actually realize it was 3 tracks put together either, which I'm kind of seeing it in a new light a little bit now, which is interesting.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Gio. That's a good point. I think I glossed over that. Like, it's a cool arrangement and I like the sound, but like that sound is Parasite Eve already. So it's a new take on these songs, but it still fits the way that the game feels and sounds already. So yeah.
I feel like the arranger understood Parasite Eve or something. I just really so familiar with the game, with the soundtrack, that he was able to. It sounds almost effortless what he did. I'm sure it was a lot of work, but I just really impressed by the song and like how cohesive it all sounds.
Yeah, I'm not very experienced with the game itself, as in I haven't played it, but knowing now that it's kind of taking elements from 3 different tracks and blending them into one, like I would never have known that that's what it's doing from listening to it. I think it's really well like mixed, and I really enjoyed how like subtle some of the changes are as it like goes through its kind of playtime. I think it's really, it feels less like heavy than a lot of the other tracks we've got on this one, which is really nice. It's more like it's got quite a nice like propulsiveness to it, which keeps it going. But yeah, like the subtlety is really good, and parts of it remind me a little bit of like late 90s kind of new agey type music, like bands like Enigma and Delirium, that kind of like almost like world music-y type like synth sounds kind of coming in. Like I'm definitely getting kind of those vibes a little bit from it, but yeah, it's really cool.
I'm gonna Google those bands later. I don't know.
I haven't listened to a lot of them, but I've heard enough that, like, yeah, I see what you're saying. That's a good comparison. One quick thing. I mean, I should always say this at the top of the episode, that we have links to all of the albums and music featured in our show notes, but I'm going to call out this one specifically just because this is a really fun album, which is somehow from 2013 now. And it's not one I dig into much for Rhythm Encounter because I'm looking at it again and almost none of it fits our coverage. There's a couple Zelda songs. There is a Zelda song called I Do It for the Fairies, which I do enjoy. Most of it isn't, but there's cool stuff from Metroid and Mega Man and some other things on there. So yeah, if you enjoyed this one, I do recommend the rest of the album as well. But in the meantime, Gio, we have one more song to talk about.
Yeah, which I feel like you could even splice into this one towards the end, because the guitar breakdown at the end of Primal Perspective kind of segues well into Like a Dragon, the Receive the Hyperactive.
Yeah.
Receive the Hyperactive is, I feel like I was worried about the song because like I know Rob specifically mentioned synth, like a synths, or I don't remember anymore what the card says, but I was like, this is like borderline, but like I'm gonna try to defend my choice because like there's this band, The Prodigy. I'm sure you guys know The Prodigy. Right? They're very famous for like having like danceable rock music, or like rock music that's like very much EDM also. I really like songs like Omen or like Invaders Must Die, and like I feel like this song is like kind of in the same spirit in a way, maybe a bit with a bit of like drum and bass, I think is how I would characterize the beat. And it's just like one of my favorite songs, so I wanted to bring it. It's one of my favorite Yakuza songs because like over the years, Like a Dragon has been more and more leaning into like EDM, like dubstep, industrial trance music. And this was like one of the standout songs from this album for that reason. It's actually a remix of I don't know, because like I know Mike, you've played Yakuza Kiwami now, right? You're in Kiwami 2 now?
I am. It's been way too long since I picked it up, but yeah. So yeah. I've played 2.3 of the games, I guess.
Yeah, you still have like so many games left. I'm sorry, but also I envy you because I wish I could start over without remembering. But anyway, like this song,
I like the phrase. Sorry, I like the phrase. Yeah. I'm sorry, I envy you. I'm like, are you? Should I feel insulted?
I'm sorry, but I envy you. Sorry.
Okay.
There's a missing word.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. This song is like a remix of, and like I don't want to give it away, but like it's a remix of like a theme of one of the character of a series character, like a series staple. And so if you recognize like elements of the song, you would know who the song's theme is, but I don't want to say anything. But it's one of the most memorable moments in the game, and yeah, it's just like a really majestic battle theme is how I describe it, and like a very unique how it does so with like EDM, like how I've never heard this kind of feeling conveyed in a drum and bass EDM industrial. I don't know how you would classify it. Song, and like, yeah, I would also call it, Rob mentioned like the word propulsive for Parasite. I feel like this is also very propulsive, the beat, and like I like how it just breaks down, and like I don't know, like it just I just like how it's the pace, like it makes me want to run, makes me want to work out. Yeah, it's just such a great battle theme, and I hope it like entices people to like play Yakuza. Actually, you can start from this game, from Like a Dragon. It's fine.
I definitely see the Prodigy comparisons for sure. I've actually written down that it reminds me of a group called Pendulum. If you don't know them, they're worth checking out as well. They're more kind of drum and bassy than the Prodigy, but they definitely share like this kind of sound where it's like very heavy, like dance music, I guess. But yeah, I really enjoy how this one kind of makes you think at the beginning it's going to be like a metal or like a rock track, and then it quite quickly switches into something that has like influences from those genres, but is very much a more like dance, electronic focused piece of music. I love the way that it like builds as it goes on. It has some really good moments where the beat like builds and then it just like drops and goes completely like bonkers, which I really love. But it has a really nice like urgency to it. It's very, I find it kind of like motivational or inspirational or powerful, I suppose. It really suits the game, and I'm not sure which character's theme this is. I imagine it's not Ichiban's, but it's still kind of like, I can imagine he would like a song like this because it kind of matches his energy a bit. So yeah, it feels very appropriate, I think, for the like cast of characters and the game's themes.
I like the powerful comment, like, because that's something I got out of it too. Like, it feels like a very danceable song, but also hard hitting in a way, like a hard hitting danceable song. It's something that had I ever been to a club in my life, I imagine you could hear at a club playing. But no, a lot of fun, really great energy. I thought it would be a good way to close out the show today. Yeah,
I like the energy too. I feel like that's a really good way to describe it.
I mean, I guess it just fits the name. It's like hyperactive. Like, yeah. But I also like powerful as an adjective.
Yes, has a powerful energy.
It has aura.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you all for these songs today. This was a whole lot of fun. Thank you again, Rob, for the inspiration for the topic. I'm glad we did this one.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah. So on this episode, surprisingly, we only had one debut. Every game on here has been on the show in some form or another, except God Eater 2 Rage Burst. So thank you for making sure we still had one debut, Audra.
Yay. You're welcome.
Coming up next on Rhythm Encounter, I think we are doing Claire Obscure and an Overclocked Remix episode. That may change. Unfortunately, I'm recording this on a day where I'm like looking at the schedule, but that is the plan. If those don't come exactly next, they will at least be coming soon. So look forward to those or whatever comes at you in 2 weeks. If you enjoyed the episode, if you'd like to share some of your favorite electronic music or topic ideas or any other feedback, you can reach the show and me at music@rpgfan.com. What is the best way for people to reach out to you, Gio?
Yeah, you can find me on Discord. I am KenBeStar, KenBei star, or you can email me at gio@rpgfan.com.
All right. How about you, Audra?
Audra B at rpgfan.com. Email. Sorry.
I gathered that. Yeah. All good. And Rob?
I'm Neon Cowboy on Blue Sky.
I keep forgetting that that's your username, and that's just great. All right. If you enjoyed this episode of Rhythm Encounter, we are, of course, not the only show on the RPG Fan Podcast Network. We have 2 other podcasts that you should listen to as well. Retro Encounter posts every other Thursday. They recently revisited Final Fantasy Tactics in honor of what I keep hearing is a fantastic remaster. And then I think the week after this goes up, they're doing an episode about Obsidian. So be sure to check those out. Random Encounter posts every other Monday opposite of our show. And they recently did an episode on Dragon Quest 1 and 2 since the HD 2D remaster recently came out for that, and Outer Worlds 2. So go check those out as well. You can also find RPG Fan on most social media, usually as RPG Fan.com or RPG Fan on Blue Sky. You'll find links to those in our show notes. We also have some YouTube channels and Discord and a website at rpgfan.com. We have a shop, rpgfan.com/shop. If you really need some RPG Fan branded merch or our review card collection book, just saying they would make good gifts. Obviously biased, but I still believe that. I will mention one quick thing about our YouTube channels. By the time this goes up, we actually have updated our YouTube channels. We moved our podcast to a dedicated channel, so be sure to check those out. There will be an updated link in our show notes. So if you've been listening on our original channel, we won't have podcasts there anymore. So just be sure to update your links or subscriptions and whatnot over on YouTube. And speaking of which, if you enjoyed the show, we would love it if you could leave reviews, comments, likes, whatever it is on Apple Podcasts, Google. There is no Google Podcasts. Over on Apple Podcasts or YouTube or wherever it is you get your podcasts. We would appreciate that. All of that stuff just helps more people find the show to, appease the algorithm, which, by the way, is exactly why we have new YouTube channels now. So thank you in advance, and thank you for listening. We are going to close out today with a bonus track, as we often do. And today it is Rob. What are we closing out with, Rob?
Yeah, so we're closing out with The Rebel Path by P.T. Adamczyk. I hope I've said that right. From Cyberpunk 2077.
Now that is a great fit for today's topic.
Yeah, I don't know. I think when I go to games to look for music to bring to the episode, I kind of automatically go to Japanese role-playing games because that's what I spend most of my time playing. But I really loved Cyberpunk, and there's some great songs on that OST that fit with this theme too. So if you're into electronic music, give it a go. This one is a really good track that I think kind of encapsulates that like futuristic, glossy feeling of the location in the game, but also with like kind of grungy undertones. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, cool. Well, thanks for picking that. All right. Well, thank you all for being here again. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And we leave you now with The Rebel Path. Hello, and welcome to episode 169 of Rhythm Encounter, the RPG fan music podcast. Okay, who's still doing something?
Oh, sorry, that's me. My cat is being silly. I think she's out now.
I was so ready to blame Rob.
Oh, sorry.
You can just say it was Rob. You'd be like, I don't know.
It was not me.
It must be Rob. Okay, that's all right. Your cat wants to be part of the podcast like Matoya does.